Hello everyone, welcome to this week's 12 Weeks of Christmas Countdown. I'm Ruth Norton with Ruth Stamping Corner, and we are on week, oh my goodness, I meant to look, I think it's 7? Are we on week 7? I think it's 7. Look at how cute this little project is. This is what we're going to make. There's some little treats inside. I'm going to show you what's in there. This is the super cute project we're going to make. Yeah, so we're going to get to that in just a minute. Before we do, as always, there is plenty to talk about. Our December Paper Pumpkin subscription period is now open, and this one looks so exciting. If you subscribe to November's, those should start billing Monday. They typically don't bill over the weekend, and since the 11th or the 10th was, well, they might have already started billing. Yeah, the 10th was Thursday, so they may have already started billing. I haven't gotten billed for mine, so I'm expecting that to come Monday or Tuesday, and then they'll start shipping. So I'm excited to get November's. But if you want December's, it's so exciting. I love the way this looks. So the kit is, the Good Things Come in Small Packages Paper Pumpkin Kit. This you have until December 10th to subscribe for. It is 16 standard gift card holders. You get 2 each of 8 designs. Garden Green Stampin' Spot, an exclusive stamp set, of course. Now, if you don't want 16 gift card boxes, they're super cute though. I mean, we only get a sneak peek, but they're super cute. But if you don't want 16 gift card boxes, they do have a card add-on kit. Now, I did order these, so I'm excited to get them. You can only order these while supplies last and during the December subscription period. So I think by December 10th, they might be pulled off. I'm not sure, but that's kind of the way I read it. But if you want these, it is $10. You get 16 card bases and envelopes. So it's a pretty good deal. And then you would just use your Paper Pumpkin supplies to turn them into cards. So it's a pretty good deal. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber and you want those cards, make sure to put those on your order between now and December 10th so that you have those ready to go when you get your Paper Pumpkin kit. Now remember, these are only available while supplies last, so order them sooner rather than later. And if you want to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, there is a link in the video description. When my November Paper Pumpkin comes, of course, I will share it with you. Okay, our Fitting Florets collection of products is still available. The 3 items that are available while supplies last are the Gold Swirls, the Framed and Festive set, and the DSP. Those are only available while supplies last. We will have this Framed Florets bundle into the next catalog, the next mini catalog anyway. But shop for these products. They're only available while supplies last, and they are good products. They're so fun. Okay guys, my annual catalog is sitting out because I wanted to tell you about something that is coming up this week. So between November 15th and the 18th this week, so that is, I'm going to keep looking at my calendar, that is Tuesday through Friday. This week, Stampin' Up! Is doing their huge seasonal sale. This is like Stampin' Up's Black Friday sale. And the annual catalog is basically discounted entirely. So from the annual catalog, all punches are 10% off. All stamp sets are 15% off. So if you are looking at punches, at stamp sets, make sure that you get those. Let's see, I'm still on stamps. Stamps, there's so many stamp sets, 15% off. Dies are 20% off. And let's see, embossing folders are also 20% off. And designer series paper that is not specialty designer series paper is 20% off. So you can save up to 20%. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you though. If you, let me see, I'm going to try to find, let me see, well, I'm trying to find a bundle because I want to talk to you guys about this. Okay, so here is the Abigail Rose bundle. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Do not buy the bundle. You're going to save 15% on the stamp set, and you're going to save 20% on the dies. So order them separately because you're going to save more if you do that. And the same goes with the punch bundles. The punch bundles, or the punches, you're going to save 10%. And the stamps you're going to save 15%. So that's going to equal more than just the 10% off the bundle price. So if you're ordering stamps and dies that are in a bundle, or stamps and punches that are in a bundle, order them outside of the bundle. Order the stamps separately, order the dies separately, and you're going to save some extra money. Now, this sale is only good Tuesday through Friday, November 15th through the 18th. So make sure you are shopping, and you are shopping early, because if they run out of stock, I think that that item will no longer be available for the duration of the sale. So shop early, use this host code. All orders will receive a PDF with 3 exclusive projects. Orders over $50 or more will receive the make and take kit that goes with that PDF. This is a great time to stock up on some of those stamps and dies that maybe you've been eyeing, but you haven't necessarily purchased those, but you have them on your list. So shop that seasonal sale Tuesday through Friday. Okay, we are going to make this. We are on I think we said week 7. Week 7 of our 12 weeks of Christmas. Now inside, I'm not going to untie this because then I just have to tie it up again, but inside are these Ghirardelli snowman treats. So these little snowman treats, and I found this a big bag. I found this bag at CVS actually, but I bet you can find these in other places too. But this is the Snowman assortment. It's like their Christmas assortment, but Ghirardelli chocolate is probably one of my top 3 chocolates. I love it. So I love all their little seasonal things. Now I think you probably can fit 3 of them in here in our little box, and I'll show you, but we're only going to put 2 in. I think that makes a super fun gift. So this is what we are going to make today. Let me talk about the products we're going to use. So for my stamp set, we are using this North Pole Mischief, and we're going to kind of edit this stamp a little bit, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. And then for our dies, I am pulling back out. We used these last week. These are the Celebration Tags dies, and we used this one last week. We made that super cute little tag for our mitten jar. This week we are using this one, and I told you guys we were going to use this one coming up. I didn't know it was going to be so quick, but I couldn't wait to use this one, so we're going to make this little box using this die. So, all right, let's jump in. I'm going to pull out this die because we are going to need this die to cut out our little image. So I'm going to pull that out. And we are actually going to start with our box. So I have already die cut that tag that we're going to use. We're going to do a little bit of trimming and scoring on this. So I'm going to set this one aside. And then for the box that goes in your tag, you're going to need a piece of paper that is 3 3/4 by 3. I'm using Starry Sky for both of mine. You can do different colors if you wanted. I like the same color because I think that gives it a more kind of seamless look to it. So with your Simply Scored, on your 3 3/4 by 3 inch piece of cardstock, you're just going to go through and score it 1 inch on all 4 sides. So 1 inch, turn it, 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. All right. While we have our Simply Scored out, we are going to do a little bit of scoring. And actually, let's trim off the edges real quick. You can do this with scissors. You can do this with whatever you want. I'm just going to grab my little or my little trimmer here. And we're just going to trim off these score tabs. We don't need those, so just trim those off. There is a little line on here you can kind of follow. You can use scissors or any paper trimmer you want. So, all right, so we have those trimmed off. Now go ahead and set this into your Simply Scored. And I've taken a permanent marker and I've run it down my 6-inch score line just so that I always kind of I can always see the start and the beginning of a score line. So your tag is actually scored in the middle, so you can fold it and make it like a little pouch, like a little pocket. With those tabs, you can make it a pocket. But I'm going to line up that score line right in that 6-inch mark here, and we're actually going to score on 1/2 inch on either side of that mark. So I'm going to go to 5.5 and score there. I'm going to go to 6.5 and score there. So our score line that the tag made is right in the middle, and I'm scoring at 1/2 inch from either side of that score line. Okay, and that is all of our scoring. So put your Simply Scored away, grab a bone folder, and burnish on the score lines that we made. We are not going to fold on that center score line that the tag die made. We are just going to fold on those other ones, and that's going to give us our little pouch for our little box. Okay, now for the box, we're going to fold and burnish on all of those score lines. All right, move that trash out of the way. All right, grab your scissors. Now this box is going to be pretty much completely hidden, so I'm not going to be too fussy about how straight these are, but just cut up your rectangles and then just kind of notch in on those corner tabs. And that is all we're going to do for this. And then we are going to assemble it up. So that is what your little box looks like. I'm going to grab some super strong adhesive. I'm using my Stampin' Seal Plus for this. And just a little bit of adhesive on all of those tabs. On all 4 of those tabs. And then just in this center, this is going to be the bottom of our box, but it's going to be easier to add your adhesive now rather than later. Now, if you're using something like tear and tape or liquid glue, you wouldn't necessarily need to do that, but if you're using your Stampin' Seal Plus, it is going to be a lot easier to add that adhesive now. Okay, so just fold in your tabs, line up this score line with the cut edge, and you're just going to make a little box, just like this, okay? So here is your little box. And we already have adhesive on the bottom, and so all we're going to do is just line that up inside. I'm not going to burnish this down until it's nice and centered. I'm going to move that a little bit over, maybe. So nice and centered in between those score lines and then from the edges. You're going to have maybe like a 1/4 inch from each edge, just like that. Give it a good press. And that is your little pouch. Isn't that sweet? Now, if you wanted to, you could adhere the sides so that the sides are glued down, but I don't think that that was necessary. It just kind of folds out, and then they can access their treat a little bit better. So we're going to stick 2 of our Ghirardelli Snowmans in there. I'm going to fold this up, and we are going to tie it nice and secure with some Starry Sky ribbon. Come on, little snowman. In you go. And then thread through one side. Man, the pressure of the ribbon again, guys. My goodness. This is our Starry Sky metallic ribbon. This ribbon is in all of the 2022, 2024 in colors, and it is some of my favorite ribbon. It is so soft. It's so easy to tie. It's so thin, so you're gonna get. It's nice and post office friendly. Is what I like. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to turn it this way to tie it. Need a little tab on that side. Okay, just tie your little bow. The pressure of the camera. There we go. Cut the end off. It's because I was doing it on the spool, I think, that I was struggling. Okay, so there is that's pretty much our little box. So we're gonna decorate the front now. We're gonna use our stamps and fancy up the front. So we'll set that aside, and let's do some stamping. So I have that big stamp from the North Pole Mischief Stamp Set. We're going to kind of eliminate the cat. We just want the little dog here. And so you can do this a couple of ways. You can actually mask off the stamp with some post-it tape or some post-it notes. And I'm going to do that with his whiskers because I didn't do that on this one. And you can see a little bit of his whiskers there, and I don't want any of his whiskers. So all I'm going to do is mask off the whiskers. And I'm going to use my Memento. We're going to color this with Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to ink this up. And we are just going to, oops, take this off, guys. This is a crucial step. Take that off or you're going to end up with a big black blob. And then we're just going to stamp our little puppy down. Okay, so, oh, isn't he cute? All right. I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in some Starry Sky ink, and we're going to stamp this Merry, Merry, Merry. So this stamp only has Merry, Merry, so you would have to stamp it twice. I am going to stamp it once because I already have one Merry left over. So I already have one. So if you were making this though, you would need to stamp it however many times you needed for however many boxes you were making. Okay, let's do some coloring on our little puppy. For the ribbon, I'm going to use Starry Sky. This is a really dark color, so I'm going to be very careful with my dark. So really I'm only adding dark kind of where it's going to be in his mouth, and then a little bit off to the edge over here where the ribbon is kind of folded. And then the rest is just going to be light Starry Sky. You can use Orchid Oasis. That's a good coordinating color, and it's not quite as dark. This is a pretty small little ribbon, so I'm not going to go over the blending too much. This side. And that is our little puppy. For his collar, I'm going to use dark Sweet Sorbet. I didn't get any of my markers out. Dark Sweet Sorbet. And it's been quite a week, and I had my in-person Christmas card Stamp-A-Stack yesterday, which is always, it's a huge class. Everybody loves that class. Everybody tries to come. I'm using dark basic black just to kind of go over his ears. If you used your Stamparatus, you can stamp it multiple times and you wouldn't have to kind of go over those areas, but it's easy enough just to go over those darker areas with your markers, so that's what I'm doing. And then finally, I'm just going to use some light smoky slate and a color lifter, and we're just going to add a little bit of shading to him. So inside his ears, under his ears, along his little chin here, and then along his little belly and his tail back here. So all I did was just add little dots of the light smoky slate, and then I'm going to come in with my color lifter and just kind of blend those out just a little bit. And that's just going to give a little bit of shading so our white dog doesn't look like we forgot to color him. Okay, so my Christmas card stamp stack was yesterday, and it's always a blast. I love that class, but it's so much work, so I'm glad that's over. Okay, now for our little Merry, Merry, Merry greeting, we are going to trim that up. And I'm just using my paper trimmer. You can use scissors, absolutely, would be just fine. And I'm just trimming this just like that. Okay, so I'm going to pull these out. So we have our little Merry, Merry, Merry. Move my paper trimmer out of the way, and we're going to do some die cutting. So let me get rid of that before I put my hand in it. So that little die, we are just going to trim him out just like this. I want to make sure that I get the ribbon. Okay, and I'm just going to use a piece of Post-it tape to hold that in place. This piece of paper I didn't realize was going to be so close to, it is just the right size. Barely fitting on there. Okay, let's talk, while I'm die cutting this, I want to tell you guys a little bit about what's going to go on this week. We already talked about that online sale. I will actually not be live this week in my business page. I do have a fun post going up on my blog with a video, but I will not be home to go live this week. So make sure you check my blog for that. Okay. But it's a really cute treat. You guys are going to like it a lot, I think, but it'll post onto my blog Wednesday morning. Isn't that cute? Look at how cute that little puppy is. So this stamp, it's pretty big. It'll take up a whole card front. So if you just want to use pieces of it, feel free to just use pieces of it. I think that's a great little tip. Okay, let's work on the rest of our little box here. So I'm going to pull in the rest of my pieces. I'm going to put all our stamped pieces aside. We'll come back to those. All right, out of that die, I've also trimmed some Snowflake Vellum. This is like the flocked side, so it's got this velvety flocked texture, so we have the little snowflakes there. And I'm going to grab out my trimmer. I'm going to use my other trimmer this time because I want to do some measuring on this. I want to take off 1/4 inch on each side, so I'm just going to use my right side for measuring. I'm going to take off 1/4 inch on each of the sides. I'm going to flip it over this way. I'm just lining this up with that 1/4 inch line. And then from that score line, I'm going to go up 1/4 inch. So I'm going to line up that score line right onto that 1/4 inch. And that's going to trim down our piece just enough. Actually, it looks a little long. Oh, because we trimmed that up a little bit more. Hello. So I'm going to go in another, I'm going to go in 1/2 inch. Perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. So you want to go in, if you're trimming it from that score line, you want to go in 3/4 of an inch because you want to trim it 1/4 inch for the border, and then you need to trim it 1/2 inch for that score line that we added. And I should have added this to my ribbon, shouldn't I? Look at what I did. We're going to have to retie our ribbon. Okay. It's okay. We can do this. Deep breaths, everyone. All right. So do you guys have big plans for Thanksgiving? Are you cooking? You have guests coming? We are getting to that time. My kids only have 1 more week of school before Thanksgiving break. They get the entire week of Thanksgiving break off. The first couple of days are for parent-teacher conferences, and then but they basically get the whole week off of school. So they're pretty excited. They only have 1 more week of school, and they get a break, and then we start the countdown to Christmas break, which won't be too long. Okay, so I added that. We are going to adhere this down, just this bottom part here. So I'm gonna grab my liquid glue for this. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue just to the bottom. You could have put some glue on it before you tied it down. Of course, I wasn't thinking about that. So, okay. Now let's work on the rest of our little embellishments. This is a piece of our Starry Sky glimmer paper. This is going to go on with dimensionals. This piece is 2 1/4 by 1 1/4. It's going to fit perfectly across our little box. So some dimensionals on there. Peel those off. And I feel like I'm so disorganized with this Facebook Live. I don't know what is going on with me today. There we go. Add that glimmer paper on. That's just going to add so much extra shine. We're going to add our little dog. I am only going to put a couple dimensionals on the top though, because we want it to sit at the same level. So we're going to add some adhesive to the kind of the bottom half, dry adhesive, and then add dimensionals. And he is just going to kind of go off to the left there with those dimensionals. He is so cute. I just love him. All right, we are going to add some dimensionals to the back of our Mary, 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 and I am just going to, because I didn't get out my mini dimensionals, I'm just going to cut some dimensionals in half and just add 1/2 to each of these. If you have mini dimensionals, those would work beautifully. You can use those. Otherwise, just trim up dimensionals. I do it all the time. Okay, let's pull these off, and then we're just going to kind of stagger these across the top. So I'm going to start with one kind of way off to the right, do another one just a little bit below that, and then one more. Oh, what did I do? Where's my other Mary? Hello. Here it is. Okay, let me grab another dimensional. I'm trying to adhere something that's not even there. Okay. Mary, Mary, and then this one just goes off to the left. Isn't that cute? He is so cute. Okay, dark smoky slate. I should have done this before, but I'm noticing he's just kind of floating there, so I'm just going to add just a little bit of ground, just some dark smoky slate right under him. And that way it looks like he's actually sitting on something and not just floating, but do that prior to gluing everything down. Okay, we have just a little bit of embellishments, and then this hot mess will be over. But the finished project is very cute, right? It's just getting to that finished project for this video. I have a couple different embellishments here. I have the adhesive back sequins now. Unfortunately, these are not available right now. I think these are going to be back in stock at the end of November. And then these are the gold swirls. These are part of that new Fitted Florets collection. And I'm going to use one of those for his little tag, for his little collar. It's nice and shiny. There we go. Now it's sticking. Isn't that cute? It's the perfect size. It adds so much little sparkle. And then for the sequins, I'm using the white ones. They come in a variety of color. You get gold. You get like the sweet sorbet. You get this like garden green color. So pretty. But I am just going to add 3 of these white sequins here. Just around my image, my little dog image. And that completes our little box. It is so cute. Maybe getting there was a little rocky. It was a rough Facebook Live. But that's, that's what Facebook Live is. So it is such a cute little treat box. And then inside you have those super yummy Ghirardelli snowmen. You can fit 2 of them in your little treat box here. So these would make great gifts. These would make great stocking stuffers. You could really do a lot with these. So don't discount those celebration tags in that mini catalog. If you haven't already put these on your wish list, make sure you put them on your wish list because they are great. And if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I would love to hear them. If you are shopping, make sure you use this host code. Remember that online sale happens this week from Tuesday to Friday, the 15th through the 18th. Make sure you are shopping that online sale. Remember, all orders receive a PDF with 3 exclusive projects. If your order's over $50, you receive a make and take kit with that. Now, if your order's over $150, don't use that host code. I'm still going to send you that make and take kit, but you're also going to get your Stampin' rewards on that. So don't use the host code for orders over $150. All right, guys, thank you so much for powering through this with me. If you're on Facebook, please share this with your crafty friends. If you are on YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. That really helps me out. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you love this project, and I will see you guys next week for our next installment of our 12 Weeks of Christmas. Have a great day, guys. Bye.